Hey friends, how's it going? Steven here. Thank you so much for joining me for another review. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the Helinox Chair Zero. I want to tell you what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and how it holds up on the trail. Let's go ahead and get into it. One of the first things that I really did like about this chair is the comfort that this chair has to offer. It is a very comfortable chair, holds it pretty well, and it doesn't take very long to actually just ease into it and just relax and at moments start taking a nap on the chair. As a matter of fact, my wife was so comfortable on this chair on one of our journeys that she had no problem taking a little nap, and it proved to be a really good decision at that time. The comfort level on this chair is definitely one of the things that I did like about it. One of the standouts about this chair is how portable it is once it's in this pouch. And it is pretty fantastic because you could actually have this one of your backpack pockets, one of your straps or whatever, try to hook it up back there. Really easy to transport, not a whole lot of issues. So this package definitely works well for this chair. Another standout of this is the weight. The weight on this is very, very manageable. It is easy to carry. You don't really feel like you have it on your pack, weighing you down, and it feels very light. So whether you're doing a day hike, whether you're doing a backpacking journey, you're not going to hardly feel this thing. And overall, it was pretty easy to transport. All right, another thing I really liked about this chair is the ease of assembly. As you can see, this is actually pretty simple to put together and to set it up for yourself out in, whether it be the great outdoors or whether it be at a tailgate party or at the beach. You could take this to all kinds of different locations. But the ease to put this together, it pretty much sets itself up pretty easily. As far as I'm concerned, you really don't need any instruction manuals. Pretty straightforward, so you really shouldn't have a problem with it. But the ease of use for this is pretty fantastic. Another thing I really liked about this chair is the kind of material that this is actually made of. So the chair portion right here, the resting area, is actually lightweight material. What this material actually is, I will have that information on the bottom of the screen. But then the frame itself, these legs are aluminum as well. You can put that on the bottom of the screen as well. But it looks like it's made pretty well. Durable. Well, the longevity of the durability is actually going to be found out as I continue to use this. But so far, everything that I have seen with this chair has been pretty good. All right, one of the first things that I didn't like about this chair is that depending on the location of where you're actually setting up and trying to put this on the ground on, the stability could be kind of iffy, especially, being out in the forest. Some of those areas tend to be a little lopsided, some tend to be a little hilly. So you just have to find that nice little niche to be able to provide a good, stable, solid foundation as much as possible. But sometimes that it really isn't the case, so you just have to be watchful of that. I guess test out different locations of where you're at to be able to find the sweet spot. But the stability is kind of iffy at times, so just something to be watchful of. Now, another drawback of this, and it really is a nitpick, it really isn't that big of a deal for me, it is the size. Even though I did mention earlier that it was a pretty good portable size, it would be nice if this was actually a little bit smaller, just for backpacking, ultra light backpacking purposes. I think that would be very, very beneficial. But it's a nitpick, it's still pretty good overall, the sizing of it. Another thing I didn't like about this chair is that this is not very good in windy conditions. If you're going to an area, for example, a windy beach, or it's just a very windy day on the trail, if you're not careful, if you're not watching this, it will be blown over if you're not sitting on it. For example, you'll get up, you'll go over to another area, it's very, very windy, and if you're not careful, it's gonna blow it over. You have to be watchful of that. Another thing to be mindful of is that the elastic bands that are on this, that are actually holding up together, I don't know how long these are actually going to be lasting for. Now, it could be for a year, it could be for a number of years, I really don't know. What I've noticed about these elastic bands is that it uses the same kind of idea for the tents. You know, different tents out there use elastic bands as well. Probably not a good idea to actually store this in the garage. So just something to be mindful of, but only time will tell if these bands will actually hold up for a few years at least. Okay, so what are my final thoughts about this chair and whether or not this is actually a good item to invest in? I think this chair is fantastic. It's light, it's portable. If you want extra comfort out there on the hiking trail, camping, backpacking, this is definitely something to invest in. So from what I've seen so far, it has been pretty awesome. And that is my overall review of the Helinox Chair Zero. It has proven to be a pretty good item and comfort to actually take with you on the hiking trail. But anyway, so let me know your guys' thoughts if you're thinking about getting this, if you have gotten it, if your experience has been very, very different from mine, or if you're using a totally different product. I would love to hear what you have to say. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel to see more reviews like this. I will talk to you guys later. Remember to go into the great outdoors and be epic.